5 seconds to go. Start. A6 had threatened him with a pistol. In the FIR, no pistol has been attributed to A6, whereas in the statement recorded before the trial court, this fact was introduced for the first time, which is indicative of improvement. Furthermore, PW18 got it recorded in the FIR that A6 and others had assaulted him with fists and slaps, but the said fact was not deposed before the trial court in his examination in chief. The discrepancy assumes greater seriousness in light of the fact that no pistol has been recovered from any of the accused persons, and if the factum of branding of pistol is under the cloud of doubt, the entire conduct of PW18 becomes doubtful and unnatural, as he did not try to prevent the accused persons from entering the premises or from abducting the deceased or from taking away the deceased on their shoulders in front of his eyes, as he was the brother-in-law of the deceased. The other eyewitnesses PW2, PW4 and PW5 deposed collectively in favor of the prosecution, as they had arrived at the scene of crime together. At around 10 p.m. on the fateful night, the said eyewitnesses happened to be present at Sikandara Chowk, and they heard some hue and cry at the house of the deceased. The witnesses were coming together in a jeep from Lakhisarai and were going towards their home in Ghogsa village, the village wherein the deceased was married, and also the native village of PW18 informant. PW2 was the driver of PW4. The testimonies of the said PWs have made it clear that while coming from Lakhisarai to Sikandara Chowk, Ghogsa came first, followed by Lohanda and Simaltala. In such circumstances, their presence at Sikandara Chowk at 10 p.m. must be explained to the satisfaction of the court. For if they were going to their village, there was no occasion for them to come to Simaltala, as it did not fall on their way. But no such explanation is forthcoming from the material on record. Interestingly, this lacuna was duly noted by the High Court with respect to PW5, as there was no reason for him to be present at Sikandara Chowk at the time of incident, and his testimony was excluded. However, the same logic was not extended to the testimony of PW4 as well, as it was equally improbable for him to be present at Sikandara Chowk at 10 p.m. on the date of incident. His visit to Sikandara Chowk was not necessitated for going to his village. Even otherwise, since the three eyewitnesses were similarly placed as per their own version, the rejection of testimony of one witness ought to have raised a natural doubt on the testimonies of the other two witnesses, unless they had a better explanation. However, no such doubt was entertained by the High Court, and the impugned judgment offers no explanation for the same. In light of their own testimonies, none of the three eyewitnesses were required to visit Sikandara Chowk or Simaltala for going to their village. The testimonies of the eyewitnesses are also impeccable in light of the other evidence on record. Stop.